Hello and welcome to Outsiders Weather and the Skeptics Ice Age Watch, where we always like to keep a close eye on those climate experts and their accuracy in predicting the weather. After all, Australian taxpayers fork out $1 billion a year to a staff of 1,600 people at the Bureau of Meteorology to tell us what to expect with the weather. For example, remember this forecast from the Bureau of Meteorology, who are, firm believers, I guess you could put it that way, in the concept of man-made global warming. Back at the end of May, only 5 days before the official beginning of winter, 5 days, can't be that hard to pick it, can it? For people who tell us what it's going to be like in 30 or 40 or 50 years' time. So what did they say? Well, according to the ABC, on May 27th, the Bureau of Meteorology predicted, and I quote, that nights are likely to be warmer than average for most of Australia, and daytime temperatures are likely to be above average for many parts of Australia, especially those closer to the coast. So that was their prediction for winter. So how's it looking? Well, Brisbane is on the coast, and yet this week, shivering Brisbanites awoke to one of Brisbane's coldest days on record. Similarly, in Canberra, home to the greatest concentration of climate cultist lovies ever assembled in one city, also known as the Public Service, it feels, apparently, like it's nearly minus 10 degrees. Whatever happened to that warmer than usual weather winter, I wonder? And of course, the curse of Gore and Flannery now includes the curse of Palaszczuk, as the very morning after Brisbane won the 2032 Olympic Games, promising to make it an Olympic devoted to fighting climate change, the city woke up to record low cold temperatures. Curse of Palaszczuk, with snow falling in subtropical Queensland. Bet that wasn't in the pitch there. And in a complete volte-face worthy of the Tokyo Olympics, the BOM now expects the cold to intensify in Queensland, with all-time cold records tumbling, and the BOM is now admitting we're looking at the coldest ever July temperatures. Further west, remember climate guru Tim Flannery warning Perth that they'd better spend squillions on a desal plant because they were going to run out of water and turn into a ghost town? Back in 2007, Flannery claimed there were no signs that Perth's once abundant winter rainfall would return anytime soon. All the prognoses, he said, for climate change is that the southwest of WA is going to keep drying out and getting hotter, he said back then. Really, Tim? The winter rains have returned with a vengeance, with 18 straight days of downpours, which eclipsed the previous record set in 2001. Meanwhile, we are midway through summer in the Arctic, and daily mean temperatures have been holding below the 1958 to 2002 average. In other words, according to Electroverse, Arctic summers were warmer back in the 1950s and the swinging 60s. South American farmers, meanwhile, are bracing for another round of harvest-wrecking polar cold, and crops are headed for catastrophe as a new massive cold air began buffeting the region last week. And according to the South African Weather Service, 19 record low temperatures, including many record low minimums, have been broken just in the last 48 hours alone. Finally, here we have a chart that shows the percentage of all US historical climatology network stations that recorded temperatures above 95 degrees Fahrenheit, that's hot, that's over 35 degrees Celsius, on July 19th, the middle of summer. So this is the hot stuff. From 1895 right through to 2021. The red line is the 5-year mean. And what do you know? Yep, July 19 used to be a very hot day in the US. Afternoon temperatures have declined sharply over the past 90 years. Yep, it was hotter back in the 1930s at the time of the Great Depression. also known as the Dust Bowl era, and it had nothing whatsoever to do with man-made carbon dioxide emissions. Maybe today's spoiled, rotten climate cult kids might ponder what a real climate emergency looks like, because compared to back then, we've never had it so good, as Woody Guthrie himself tells us.